Psalm, or it could be from Exodus. I just don't have it in front of me. Maybe I have it in this book here. It's John. What number John is it? What number John? It's John 19. I think it's Psalm 22. 22:18 I have written there. But that's dividing the clothes. No. Where is this other one? John, what is it? John? Yeah, I can't find it. But in any case, Josephus tells about the fact that they didn't want to leave people up past nightfall. In the story, in the passage where he talks about the death of Ananias and the care Jews took. But this, not a bone will be broken. It's very telling. I think it may be 1246, Psalm 1246. Anyway, here we have now the burial scenes. Joseph of Arimathea comes, a rich man, a righteous man, another tzaddik. No one's ever identified Arimathea. People have often suggested that is Joseph bar Matthew. Joseph bar Matthew. Joseph the son of Matthias or Matthew, which is Josephus' own name. But no one has ever identified a place called Joseph of Arimathea, and where this character suddenly pops up from. Although the English love to talk about him because he supposedly brought the Holy Grail to England, and the Knights of the Round Table are founded on all of his activities. Well, this is how these kinds of things snowball into over time and centuries. In any case, Joseph did all this material about the tomb. I don't have time to go into it. In John, it's Nicodemus appears again. And Nicodemus, as I've shown you in my new book where I have a Nakdiman and Nicodemus, is Nakdiman in the Talmud. And there are all kinds of legends that he's a rich man. And there are all kinds of legends about making rain and so on. And the dogs coming to his door or his friend's door hungry and going away filled, etc. And that's all, and the myrrh, and the women pouring the myrrh on Jesus' feet and anointing his feet with the myrrh and buying the expensive ointment for his burial day, and so on and so forth. It's a very complicated material. I don't really have too much time to deal with that, obviously, but let's do this. That's something that has to be looked at real carefully. Who just Arimathea is, who this Nicodemus may or may not be, what this tomb is. I end up with some conclusions about the tomb in the New Testament Code, that it's something to do with the tomb of Queen Helen of Adiabene. But she obviously is the widow of Nun, who is weeping for her children. There's a passage in one of the things about the widow of Nun. That would be Queen Helen of Adiabene, who was a widow, bewailing her children. Her son is predeceased her. Anyway, there's a famous tomb in Jerusalem that's still there, and you can go and see it. It's called the Tomb of the Kings. It's right outside the walls of Jerusalem. And there may be a lot of stories connected to the burial situations of that tomb and so on. But I am not able to go further than that with your material here. You can take it at face value if you feel it's you can identify a person either called Nicodemus or a person called Joseph of Arimathea, who I'm sure is totally fictional. But, you know, if you can find him, that's good. Let's go on to the resurrection morning. So now we have Mary Magdalene, Matthew, and the other Mary go to see the sepulchre. For Mark, it's Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome. Once again, we have that problem of the other Mary, clearly Jesus' mother, and the mother of the brothers. And they want to anoint him. And in the one, they roll away the stone. And in Matthew, they see an angel, lightning, and his raiment white. Let's see. In Mark, the ending of Mark, by the way, has been lost. They see a young man sitting on the right side in a white robe. In Luke, they see two men, line 4, standing beside them in dazzling apparel. In John, Luke doesn't, I don't think, names who goes in there. It's just they in Luke.
It says down in verse 10, Mary Magdalene.
Okay, well, I'm looking at this first page. I'll stand corrected. And John, Mary Magdalene goes alone. So far, none of these accounts are going to agree with each other. And Matthew then says, has the single angel say, go to Galilee where he awaits you. Luke doesn't agree with the post-resurrection appearances being in Galilee. He has the first one taking place where? In Jerusalem on the Emmaus Road. And that looks like the appearance in the Gospel of the Hebrews, according to Jerome, of Jesus to his brother. Drink thy food, eat thy food, drink thy drink, for your brother or the Son of Man is risen, as Jesus meets his brother and designates him as his principal successor in the so-called Gospel of the Hebrews, conserved only in the 5th century church father Jerome. Anyway, Mark agrees with Matthew. He goes before you to Galilee. In Luke 24, the two men basically say the same thing. Go and tell these to the 11. Okay, there it is. Now there's Mary Magdalene, and he adds a person, Joanna. So now there's 3 women now. One has one has 2 women, one clearly the mother of this is just called the mother of James, but I think we know who this is supposed to be. So Jesus' mother is involved in all these things according to the Gospels. Now, Peter nowhere has a post-resurrection encounter with Jesus. He goes into the tomb, and he sees the linen clothes, but he doesn't see Jesus, according to Luke 12. John picks that thread up. Mary Magdalene saw, what did Mary Magdalene see in John? She sees the empty tomb. And Peter, this is a good one, and Peter and the disciple Jesus loved, whoever he's supposed to be, are running to the tomb. And then she yells to them, they've taken the Lord out of the tomb. So the other disciple and Peter run towards the tomb, and they sort of outrun each other and have a race. Totally different than the other ones here, as you see. But the other disciple outran Peter, of course. And he came first in the tomb, and he sees the linen clothes.